Perfect. So I am talking about Gym Contribute, but more importantly, building what you cannot find. Let's do this thing. Okay. So frequently, especially when I go to conference talks and have wonderful discussions about contributing in open PRs, I want to contribute back, but I always have a problem figuring out where to do it. And that got exacerbated because I've been volunteering at the conference this year, and I wanted to volunteer at the Hack Day, and I'm not actively contributing to any projects, and was going to find one, and had issues with that. So I decided I would build something. And the reason why is, as was previously cited, there are a number of websites like this, but as far as I can tell, all of these are opt-in. If you're a maintainer and you're willing to be supportive of this initiative, then you could register your project on these sites, but that means you then have to know about these sites. Why the tag is a default tag that is on GitHub, and you might just be naturally doing that anyway. And so when I decided not to rely on maintainer opt-in, I had to figure out, well, how do I then narrow down the list? And that reminded me of bundle fund. So for people who haven't noticed it, when you bundle and star, usually at the end, if a project has opted in to setting a sponsorship URL, it will remind you that you can fund these projects by looking at your Gymlock file that you just used. And I thought that was a very elegant solution to trying to figure out a project to support or to contribute to. So this is the bundle list of the main project that I work on at work. As you can see, there's 216 gems at the end of the Gymlock file. And that's 216 projects that I already interact with on a daily basis, that I trust to put in my production systems, and hopefully are then well maintained, knock on wood. Earlier this week, I decided to build a gem called Gem Contribute. And so what it does is, it scans your Gymlock file. You gem install this. You run the scan, and it points to projects that have open good first issue tagged issues. You'll notice that one of the other nice things it does is it auto-inserts itself into the list. Because no one needs to put this gem in their Gymlock, so it has to pop up somehow. And then one of the things it does is, once you find an issue that you want, you can then use the fix command, which will then automatically create a fork for you on your GitHub account, clone it into a configuration folder, and then create a branch based off the issue name. And because of the fact that, as was mentioned before, those aren't the most used commands in the Git CLI, and so sometimes it's the small friction points that make things less appealing to do. And so when you are done, exactly. So when you're done, you can then use the submit command, and it will then create a PR on the upstream branch with the name of the issue in the thing. Again, this is not using any sort of LLM, so it's not like you can just press submit and then just blindly click save, but it does open up the browser for you to the open form for you to then fill out. And so why this was great and kind of a general other things, one of the things that I've noticed from this, and also noticing while talking to many people over the course of the week, is that sometimes the things that you want don't really exist. And sometimes the things you depend on also need you. And that's true in a lot of things, not just PRs. And so what I've kind of learned from this is that, especially as developers, we have the power to build things for ourselves. And even if we end up being the only users for it, so what? Sometimes we can give it out, put it out in the world, and it might turn into nothing. It might turn into something that, surprisingly, fixes most other people's issues. But as long as it's making your need, the rest is just bonus. So thank you again. Like I said, it is installable, and I will be working on it tomorrow, Hack Day.
Check. Thank you, Christopher.